What's going on? What's going on? This is another edition of the Jay Rich Show, and I am so happy to be here. Thank you for tuning in. This is, you know, the basketball show you didn't know you needed. You feel me? All right. So, with that said, we're gonna get right into it. Um, the Cleveland Cavaliers are the hottest team in the NBA. Point blank. Period. This team is has won seven in a row, but the last three have been really impressive. They beat the Bulls, the Bucks, and then they beat the Hawks on Saturday night. This is a team that has really been playing well together since the Jared Allen and I'm sorry, not the Jared Allen, Evan Mobley and Darius Garland injuries. This team has is 12-3, hottest team in the NBA. But it's beyond that, though. They have completely dominated their opponents, especially these last three. The last three teams have not hit the 100 point mark in the NBA right now in 2024. That is almost unheard of. That is dominant defense. Now you may say they played the Bulls, they played the Hawks on a back to back. I get it. The Bucks without Giannis, I get it. I get it. But holding teams to under 100 points doesn't happen often. Even the best teams, even the best defensive teams have they average their opponents average over 100 points. So this is huge for the Cavs to be this dominant. Um, they beat the Bulls on Monday. That was a home win, and they dominated. I mean, now the Bulls were playing a little better. They were playing better the last couple of weeks. Zach LaVine had come back, um, but they held them to 91 points. That was a team that they were supposed to win, and they did. Donovan Mitchell scored 31, 34. I'm sorry. Um, and what the impressive thing is the Cavs were up the majority of the game, and the Bulls made a late comeback. Um, and then the Cavs said, okay, that's enough. We'll stop playing down to the competition. And they came and pulled back. And they won going away. They beat the Bulls 109-91. That was the first game back from Paris. There was things, not making excuses, but there was reasons for that. Um, but yeah, I mean, it was a complete team effort. Sam Merrill, who we're going to talk about later, um, he scored 15. Karis LeVert scored 16. Both of that off the bench. And they dominated the Bulls. It was never, even when the Bulls made their comeback, you thought they're not really going to win this, right? Like it was one of those. And as soon as the Cavs buckled down, they won going away. And then the one that everybody talked about Wednesday, they beat the Bucks. They were up by as many as 47 points. Let me make sure y'all heard that. 47. They beat the Bucks 135-95. They it was a masterclass defensively. I mean, they never trailed. In fact, during the 7 game winning streak, they trailed for less than 35 seconds. That's amazing. 7 games, you ain't trailed but 35 seconds. That's another level of dominance. It's another level of dominance. But they beat the Bucks. Yes, Giannis didn't play, but I'm not gonna say it wouldn't have mattered because it would have. Giannis is still Giannis, but they completely dominated in every aspect. Donovan Mitchell led the way with 31 points and 7 assists. Jared Allen, who again, another person we're going to talk about later, um, he had a double double, 21 and 13, another 3 assists. Keep an eye on those. Um, and I'm gonna say this because I've had several back and forths now. Uh, people not understanding Dean Wade and his role on the team, but Dean Wade is a really good defender. I mean, really good, better than you think. And he held Chris Middleton, the Bucks, second or third star, but a champion. And he's not been like he's not Chris Middleton from 4 years ago, but he is rounding into form, rounding into shape. He had came in the game against the Cavs. He's averaging like 17 points, 17, 18 points, with 8 assists, 5 rebounds. So he's getting there. He's getting there. And Dean Wade completely shut him down. I mean, he was 1 for 10 from the field, 0 for 3. He had 2 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. That's it. The Bucks weren't coming off of a back to back. They had 3 days rest, just like the Cavs had 2 days rest. But they weren't coming off a back to back. They weren't. They didn't have to fly in on Wednesday morning or Tuesday night. No, no, they just came in and got their bus whooped. The Cavs did that because the Cavs are playing so well. But it was a great team effort from the Cavs, a great game from the Cavs. And then they had a couple of days off. And this is the mark of a good team because after you beat a team and you're up 47 and everybody's singing your praises, everybody's telling you how good you are, it's the prime opportunity for a young team, for a team that is not good, to have a letdown. And everybody would say, they're due for one, right? But they went into Atlanta, first game on the road. This is not a long road trip, but it's a 4 game road trip. 4 game road trip, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 game road trip. My bad. I had to do some math. Had to think about it. Um, and they beat the Hawks. Now the Hawks they had a tough game the night before, on Friday night against the Heat, but DeJounte Murray had come in. He had hit the game winners the last previous 2 games that the Hawks had. They were on a winning streak, and the Cavs came in, jumped on them early, and beat them. And like didn't just beat them. Again, 95 points is what the Hawks scored. Season low. This is dominance. Cavs beat them 116 and 95. Um, and it was a complete team effort. Karis LeVert did not play this game, um, but even still, you know, Donovan Mitchell had 18. Dean Wade, the guy, he had 17. Uh, Isaac Okoro had 12. He went back home. He had a bunch of people in the stands, family and friends and things like that. He had 12 points. Another double double from Jared Allen, 14 and 11. That's his 10th straight double double. He is playing some of his best basketball, if not his best basketball of his career. Not just this season, of his career. He is dominant. Inside, he's dominant. Um, Big game from Sam Merrill. Sam Merrill hit 5 threes, scored 18 points off the bench. George Niang, coming off of his hot game. Forgot to mention that. I was talking about the defense for the game against the Bucks. I failed to mention that George Niang, and I'm sorry, Big George, but George Niang had his career high 33. He did not miss a shot until the fourth quarter. And he even said, you know, I took an ill advised. It was a heat check. He did a step back three, and he was like, "That's not even my game." But that's the only shot he missed. He missed one free throw, but 33 off the bench in 27 minutes, 33 points on 14 shots, career high. His previous career high was 27. So now, he was in the 30s. He's in the 30 mark. That was against the Bucks. He came in against the Hawks and off the bench, had another decent game. Had another decent game. 14 points. You know, the Cavs they had 7 people in double figures against the Hawks. The Cavs are getting contributions from everybody, which is what you need when you have stars go down. When you have people like Darius Garland, high usage player like Darius Garland, and you have a guy like Evan Mobley, who, while he hasn't maybe not taken the next step that we all think he should have, um, he still is a presence. He's still a person who you have to account for. And to lose those two guys on the same day, and to then say, you know what, we're going to band together, we're going to play like Coach JB wants us to, and we are going to get back to defense and moving the ball. And it worked. And instead of everybody talking about, are we going to trade Donovan Mitchell at the trade deadline and all of this, the notion is, wait a minute, are the Cavs contenders? Like, is that a thing? Is that a possibility? I want to see when Garland and Mobley come back, because if they can play the same way they've been playing now, moving the ball around, getting getting everybody involved, and the ball's not sticking, and they can continue making outside shots, it's a dangerous team. It's a dangerous team because defense travels. As bad as we remember, and as bad of a taste as we had in our mouths from the Knicks, the playoff series, the Cavs still had the number one defense in the playoffs. Like, defense travels. They couldn't score. That was their issue. Well, if the ball is moving and you have all of these threats, then they'll score. And if they're continuing to play defense like they are, this is a dangerous team. It's a dangerous team, and I don't want to get too ahead of myself. Look, they're gonna lose games. They're not gonna have lost 15 games the rest of the year. Like, that's not gonna happen. But if they can continue playing like this, I'm telling you, this is a team that can really do something. And the thing that I really love about this team is they are legitimately friends. Like, they like each other. Like when they talk, when they're in the locker room, this team is together. Like, they like each other. They really like each other. George Niang spoke about it. Coach Bickerstaff has spoken about it. This team's camaraderie, I'm telling you, this is a special team. Especially, we don't know how it's going to end. No matter how it ends, this team likes each other. They like each other. They get along with each other very well. And not just like clicked up, like the stars mess with the stars and this guy messes with. No. Like, they want to see Sam Merrill succeed. Like, they love the fact, Donovan Mitchell is praising Sam Merrill. You know, they are George Niang is talking about Pete Nance. Like Pete Nance, he got a 10-day contract on Thursday to fill a roster spot left when Ricky Rubio retired. The Cavs had 13 players. They had to get to 14. They gave Pete Nance a 10-day contract, and it was worth it. It was. I don't want to say worth it, but it was well deserved. Pete Nance is having a really good rookie season with the Charge, and we'll probably talk about them a lot next week. But I wanted to get that in there because that is a note that they did. But they like each other. Like this team is a team, and teams like this, the more success they have, the less they have to answer questions about what's going to happen in the summer and things like that. I'm telling you, a lot of people have asked me about trades. You know, what do you think they're going to do? I'm not going to tell you that they're not going to trade anybody. I'm not going to say that they can't or they won't try to improve the team or anything like that. What I'll say is this team is well put together. They like playing with each other. They still haven't been able to play um, their full lineup one game this year. And somebody's been out. It's always somebody. Um, so they haven't seen the full team for a stretch, a 10 game, 20 game stretch. That said, if there's somebody who can put these guys over the top, they're going to make a move. But they're not going to force it. I'll say that. I feel pretty confident in saying that. They're not going to force it. Maybe there's a guy, maybe there's not. They have a open roster spot because they have 14. They can carry 15. So maybe to buy out, like there's without sending anybody out, there's ways to improve this team. And honestly, at this point, I don't know who you would trade because everybody's contributing and well. Um, so it'd be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. I'm not gonna say they're not trading anybody. Don't send me messages saying you said no. I'm saying they may, they may not. As I see it right now, I don't think they will make. I don't think they're gonna make any major moves. That I feel very comfortable saying that. But they might get a guy for a second round pick. Maybe he's a player that a rotation player or something like that. But I don't see them making too many changes because their trade is going to be getting Garland and Mobley back. Like having those guys come back and reinserting them into the lineup is almost like a trade, right? Because now they're going to be you have to readjust the rotations. You have to configure defense and things like that. So that's the trade, you know, especially with the way they're playing now, because those guys have seen the success. They've been a part of this 7 game winning streak. Darius Garland did not travel with the team, but Evan Mobley did, and he's seeing, okay, these guys are playing well. I don't want to come in and not be a part of what they have going on. So again, I would say they may make a trade. I don't think it's going to be a big one. It may not be a name that we all know and things like that. It may be a small trade. That's my take on the trades. But this team is rolling, and this week is going to be interesting coming up. This team, the Cavs, they're on the road, and they play the Magic on Monday night, and then they play the Bucks twice. I think Wednesday and Friday. Wednesday and Friday, they play the Bucks. Now, they just beat the Bucks by 40. We're up by 47. Giannis didn't play. He's probably going to play these two games, you know, and the Bucks are going to want their revenge for sure. This is the kind of games that you really get to see what's going on, because if they can win one of two, it sets the table for the rest of this season. If they can stay healthy, they can say, okay, look, we've now beaten, when we weren't at our best, we beat Denver and Philly, beat them. At our best, without two players, we beat Milwaukee when they were fully healthy. If they can continue the way they're going, I want to be clear. This is the team that everybody was ready to give up on the first or second week. Oh, we got to trade Donovan. We got to trade. We got to do this. And now look, hottest team in the NBA, like by far, the longest win streak right now. Like these guys are rolling. Nah, they on this win streak. I mean, they got two wins against the Wizards, a win against the Spurs. Like they're not playing, you know, the top five teams every night, but they're playing like a top five team. And if they can continue, if man, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. So I'm excited. This week, like I said, they play the Magic, they play the Bucks twice. We're gonna next week, when we come back next week, we'll talk about all three of those games, and then the week coming up, going into February, that'll be going into February. But I got a good feeling about this week. I hope I'm not jinxing them. Before I go, I want to say two things. Jared Allen is an all-star. Like, he's an all-star. JB has said it. Donovan Mitchell has said it. Jared won't say it because he's just not that guy. He's an all-star. Um, it, it goes beyond the numbers, but he's got the numbers. Like, outside of Joel Embiid, there's no center playing better than Jared Allen in the Eastern Conference. Um, I know that the All Star rosters can be tricky. I get it. I know that front court players will include forwards and things like that. Jared Allen should be an All Star. He's playing at an All Star level. Just want to put that out there. That's it. Second thing, the Cavs should have, I believe they should have two, but for sure one. Either Sam Merrill or Max Strus. One of those guys should be in a 3-point contest. I like Max, and he can shoot the ball. Sam Merrill would be a good story for me. I watched that guy shoot every game in the G League last year for the Charge. Sam Merrill can shoot the basketball, man. That dude can shoot. He is a flamethrower. Like it's amazing, man. Like that guy he can shoot, man. He can shoot the ball, man. So I want to start the whatever it's called, like the campaign. I'm campaigning Sam Merrill in the 3-point contest. Jared Allen, Donovan Mitchell, All Stars, Sam Merrill, or Max Strus, point contest. We need it to happen. NBA, make it happen. Also, uh, Imani Bates and Sharif Cooper and Isaiah Mobley, All Star game for the G League. But like I said, we're gonna talk about the G League next week. Um, we might have a guest. Might have a guest. So Hey man, listen, man, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all for tuning in to the Jay Rich Show. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. I appreciate that. And we'll see you next time. We might have a guest next week, but we're gonna continue to talk about the Cavs, talk about the charge, and yeah, it's the basketball show you didn't know you needed. Appreciate you. Peace.